So hello everyone, this is AetherNightmare and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We've recently completed the Archer series of quests, so we're about ready to get started on Bards. So let's talk to Lucerne and get things started off. A Song of Bards and Bowmen. Well met. Would that we had time for banter, but we're all up in arms here. Yet another Ixali dirigible has been spotted over the 12s, would you see? Oh, don't worry about that, it's probably mine. Their reappearance calls to mind the Battle of Griffin Crossing. Well, I say battle, most are agreed that massacre would be rather more apt. Aye, the Ixali dealt us a crushing defeat that day. Right around this time of year it was, more than 2 decades past. A humiliating episode for our history, to be sure, but heaven forbid that we ever forget it. Failure is the finest, if not the kindest, of teachers, and few things have driven people better than its sting. But let's not speak of cheerier matters. Mayhap you've already heard, but a renowned archer has recently returned to the 12's Wood. The one they call God's Bow. God's Bow? God Bow? That's just a title, of course. His birth name is Jehantel, and he was once of the God's Quiver. The man was a legend even then, and there was no honor greater than being taken under his tutelage. But that's not all there is to him, mind you. Jehantel was also a skilled bard. One of the rare few capable of inspiring others to great feats through song. Upon learning that God's Bow had returned, dozens of us flocked to him in hopes of training under a legend, yours truly included. Alas, the meeting hasn't unfolded quite as well as we had hoped. Jehantel has refused to teach each and every suitor that has approached him thus far. Though it should be mentioned that the topics he is reluctant to instruct us in do not include poetry and song, he is exceedingly keen to teach us all about them. Some few of us were tempted to take him up on the offer, save that we have a nation to defend. Far be it from my intent to belittle all those bards out there, but I like my chances rather better charging into battle with a quiver than a harp, and here we were hoping that a transcendent mastery of the bow might be ours. It's starting to sound like me all throughout the Archer quest. By the sparkle in your eyes, I'd wager you have an interest in that self-same poetry and song. Come now, there is no call for shyness, and there is more to life than battle. If you would present yourself as a pupil to Jehantel, I shall happen to know his whereabouts. I'm given to understand that he has made his camp somewhere west of Quarry Mill in the South Shroud. Jehantel is an agreeable sort of fellow, and should be willing enough to meet with you. Truth be told, I'm still holding on to hope. If you could find a way to Jehantel's confidence, maybe you can yet be persuaded to train us. I wish you the best of luck. Okay. South Shroud should be where our new quests are. Yep. Hello. Interesting. Ah, another guest. You are kind to pay me a visit, young one. Naught gives us elderly folk more pleasure than the company of the young. Add to that a steaming pot of tea, and the beauty of the 12's Wood, and we could want for little more. Well, I do have some tea with me here. You've probably heard me drink it in the background. But the curl of your lip tells me that tea and scenery are not what you desire. You seek knowledge of archery, I take it. In which case, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. Bren, was it? Yes, I am Jehantel, one that they called the God's Bow. But that was in another life. I have long cast aside my bow, taking instead a harp to my breast. For years I have lived as a bard, going wherever the wind blows, exulting in the beauty of creation through song. To be sure, I still have the eyes to recognize a promising archer when I see one. And you, young one, have promise. Keep your nose to the grindstone, and one day you may count yourself a virtuoso of the bow. Okay, the music here actually is giving me more Dot Hack vibes. I know I mentioned that with the festival, but like, here too, I really feel it. Yet I know that virtuosity is worthless without virtue. Aye, the words of the ballad of the vainglorious fool tell us this much. You truly wish to remain and learn poetry and verse. Well, I must admit to being rather taken aback. In uncertain days such as these, there are few indeed who would devote the time to song as opposed to more tangible endeavors. You intrigue me. I find myself growing curious as to how the melodies of old might find expression through you. I do believe a certain friend of mine would be the self-same opinion. That would be a good place of any for us to begin. Listen well. There's a Moogle named Puknopoki who can oft be found wandering in areas situated east of here. I would have you present yourself to him. Puknopoki is possessed of a discerning eye for talent. If he sees potential in you, I should be well satisfied that you indeed have the makings of a bard. Heed me, O puissant Alith? That's a word. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. I am but a simple minstrel. Though once I served with the gods' quiver, my days are now measured by stanza and verse. It has been long years since I last set foot within the Twelveswood, yet I can no longer ignore fate's insistent pull, and so I shall abide here for a time until certain matters are laid to rest. Okay, find ourselves a Moogle. Is he the mail delivering kind, or just the forest dwelling kind? Since I'm pretty sure they live here, I've seen like I think it was a 1.0 cutscene a long time ago, where there was just a whole bunch of different Moogles wearing like different class gear.
Kupo, how could this have happened? It's just so embarrassing. A blunder for the ages, Kupo. You understand what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah, you're not the first Moogle I've talked to.
That's a rare talent. I'll allow, but you've caught me at a bad time, Kupo. Now be a good adventurer and show yourself out. Jehantel sent you. You should have said so sooner, Kupo. You do know that Jehantel is no ordinary bard, yes? His songs can salve your heart and strengthen your resolve. They can banish your fears and fill you with hope, and that's not even scratching the surface. Why, to hear him perform is like bathing in sunbeams, Kupo. I've asked, begged, and pled more times than I can count for Jehantel to stay and sing in the forest. Only now has he deigned to set foot here again, but he's refusing to sing for us. That's such a blatant breach of promise, Kupo. But what's this? Why, your being resonates with a chord similar to Jehantel's, perhaps even identical, Kupo. By the 12, this means that things may yet turn out as planned. Why, you might even have it in you to surpass the man. And that's saying a lot, Kupo. Egads, your coming had me so excited my predicament nigh escaped my mind. There's a charm that I had meant to give to Jehantel, you see, but it was stolen as I napped, Kupo. I roused in time to espy the thief and attempted to give chase. Alas, drowsiness robbed me of my balance, and I was delayed by this tree. Last I saw, that overbold brigand he, or possibly she, was scurrying towards the Taker's Rock, Kupo. Now I realize we've only just met, but would you mind recovering the charm and delivering it to Jehantel in my stead?
Okay, this way. Oh, right. I forget. I can be perceived. Oops. If only one sees me, then that will be the one I deal with. And it's my job stone. Of course it is.
Have you recovered the charm? You did it, Kupo. Please, you must now deliver it to Jehantel. Tell him that Puknopoki thinks him a cunning rogue, but he is excited nonetheless. So excited, in fact, that he cannot help but sing. Kupololo.
I'm not attempting to sing in Moogle voice, I refuse. But let me guess. Based on plot requirement, he gives the stone to me. As I hit every branch on my way in. Oh. Did he really have to spawn something right here? It's not gonna see me, is it? Okay, I'm high enough level, it doesn't care. Welcome back. You have a charm and a message from me from Pukno Poki, you say? A keepsake made from a single tiny crystal. A cunning rogue, am I? I suppose I must explain. Pukno Poki and I go way long back to when I first took the harp. I made a promise to him then, one that I have yet to make good on. Pukno Poki has desired that I remain in the Twelves Wood to sing for the rest of my days. Regrettably, I have been ill able to oblige him. Duty called, you see. I had battlefields to stand upon and comrades to protect. Moreover, an event came to pass that rendered my being in the Twelves Wood problematic. I thought that by taking eager souls such as you under my wing, mayhap it would suffice to appease Pukno Poki. He kind of sounds like a fae. Like, oh, just stay in the woods forever, trapped with me. Like, not fully understanding that humans live mortal lives. Of course, he saw straight through my little ruse. With the Mughals lacking grace, they aptly make up for in wit. The creatures are great lovers of song. That you return with the charm is proof positive that his high regard for your potential as a bard and archer both. The charm is a crystal known as the soul of a bard. Pukno Poki asked that you bring it to me. Aye, but he meant for you to have it. It is a gift from the Mughals bestowed upon those they deem worthy of walking the path of the true bard. The soul of the bard harbors memories of the past, verses and refrains sung by bards of old. As you gain in worldly experience, more of those memories will find expression through your being, imbuing your song with powers untold. Now it may surprise you to hear that bowmen and bards are as next of kin. By the same token, mastery of song is dependent on one's prowess as an archer. The sense in this will be lost upon you at first, but in time the realization will dawn that bow and harp are but stringed instruments played by the same hand. Now go, and let your body and soul drink deep of the melodies of old. When next we meet, I hope to see a fully fledged bard standing before me, one who exceeds even Pukno Poki's wildest expectations. Okay, we get our bard skill, the Mage's Ballot, and our Jump-Stone. Bard unlocked. Is it going to give me the whole thing? Again. Melodies sung by bards resonate within you. The next bard quest will be available at level 35. The quest to learn the action perform is now available from name I can't say on stream without getting banned at Miketo's Amphitheater in Old Grodania. Okay, so that's gonna be maybe a separate thing. So I need to be level 35. Let's... Right, I gotta equip it. Duh. Song gauge unlocked. Singing the Mage's Ballad will display the action's corresponding song gauge, indicating the affected time remaining. If the repertoire effect is triggered while the Mage's Ballad is being sung, the recast times for Bloodletter and Reign of Death, alert at 45, are reduced. I guess we'll get to that when we get to that. You can view the job gauge description at any time from the Actions and Traits menu. Okay. Get rid of the old set because now we has Bard, so I thought I was closer to 35 than I actually was, so I suppose I'll get this done. When I come back, also apparently the action to... We get an instrument. We actually get access to a lot of instruments. You can see people playing them in the plaza. I've never done it, so I don't know if I'll be any good at it. I'd like to think as soon as I learn the keys I could play something, but if that is part of the Bard's quest, I might do it immediately following level 50 in the job quest if it's attached to Bard in such a manner. I don't know how long it's going to be, so Bard might unintentionally be like a 2-hour episode compared to the other like hour average jobs, but we'll get to that when we get to that, I guess. See you in a bit. Level 36, we're back. The Archer's Anthem. Ah, a glint of determination in your eyes is a testament to your newfound strength. You put me in mind of my salad days. Salad days? What's salad day? You would know why I truly abandoned the battlefield and became a bard. That I took an arrow to the knee is what most folk believe. Why with the Skyrim? Let the joke die. But it is quite clear you are not most folk. Very well, I shall insult your intelligence with an untruth. For now, allow me to answer by saying that everything in creation is given to change, and man most of all. I was drawn to the power of song, the power to touch the very souls of men, and decided I must pursue it. Sadly, that power has been all but forgotten in this age of cynicism. Such songs as those performed by traveling bards serve no purpose beyond the amusement of drunkards. But that was not always the way of it. There was a time when song could shape the outcome of conflict. Ever since nations first quarreled, armies have fielded archers, wherewith they've rained death upon the enemy from afar. As the battle unfolded, however, the distinction between the lines of friend and foe would grow hazy, yet the archer's part did not end there. He had to stay ever alert, with arrow nocked and eyes trained upon the struggle. Even as his comrades fell, turning the earth red with their blood, the archer could ill afford to avert his gaze, lest that moment cost him another his life. One need not have a vivid imagination to appreciate the torrent of emotions that raged within him in that moment. Nerves near fraying, his breast fit to burst, the archer did the only thing he could. He sang. His bow became a makeshift instrument, plucked as an accompaniment. At first the archer sang only to still the rolling within, but his voice changed to carry his comrades. It inspirited those engaged in combat, lending strength to their sword arms, and to those who lay upon the precipice of death it granted a measure of peace. Realizing the tactical potential of song, yet loath to set aside the skilled archers for that purpose, armies began raising dedicated regiments of minstrels. But the members of such units were no warriors. Fair of voice and nimble of finger, these career minstrels could find a place in the hall of any lord. Yet they knew not of the burden borne by those who charge in a battle, whose lot it is to dance with death and sup on pain. And so their songs rang hollow, holding no power over the hearts of men. In eastern Lanasi, spirits are said to haunt the trees of the Raincatcher Gully. I would ask you to travel there and await the emergence of these specters. Through force of arms, you are to release the spirits from their tormented existence, and in doing so, ease their unfathomable suffering. With such a deed might you draw forth an ancient melody from the soul of the bard. Okay, quest obtained. Probably it's actually faster to go to this one and then, like, fly up. Unfortunately, I can't come across this way because it's a different zone. I would if I could, though. I can see where they got the idea. A string instrument paired with, like, a string weapon, but no, that's not how music works. Not even in the slightest. It's not how archery works, either. The only thing they share is finger calluses. And that's about it. I guess I can originally climb up here? I guess it expects me to use this. Yeah, I was gonna say I probably got silenced. Not that it matters. And then we let poison do most of the work. Oh, really? That was it? That was the whole thing. Okay. 5-minute video. It's a cute little thing. It's going where I'm going, I think, though. This person must be doing the quest, too. Welcome back. In your eyes, I see a layer of understanding, of regret, of futility, and in your heart, it now echoes with the strains of an old song newly discovered. Embrace this song as you play it in battle, shall be ever more powerful emotions beset and temper your soul. When your stock of tales has grown, pray return and regale me of those stories of your adventures. And we get a new song, which is The Warden's Paean. Removes one select detrimental effect from self or target party member. If the target is not enfeebled, a barrier is created, nullifying the target's next detrimental effect suffered. Okay, so it's a shield. It's a Suna mixed with a shield, I think. Your faint voice carried on the winds of time. It's not a Zelda reference, is it? Kinda keen to just get rid of this thing so I can focus. Go away. Okay. Traits, roll. Yeah, there we go. As opposed to this one, which is a little complicated. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 100. Also grants his mage balance to self and all party members within 50 alms, increasing damage dealt by 1%. One whole whopping ass percent. Yeehaw! This is what I meant when I said it needs an update. Additional effect, 80% chance of granting repertoire, reduces the recast time of Bloodletter by 7.5, so those aren't skills we get until like much later. So what about these? Heavy, binds a target, interrupts a target's action. Maybe. What do I wish to trade? Probably heavy. Like, I never use this. Does anybody ever use this outside of, like, very specific instance dungeons? Eventually I'll start making another grid, too. Because I'll get way more stuff. But for now, I guess I go level up. Where's this one? Pretty sure is a... Yeah, this is the shield. Okay, good to know. Lasts for, I think, either one hit or a couple seconds. Okay, it's been a while for me in between parts, but let's continue on with the Archer quests. How much longer do we have to go? Okay, there's gonna be 3 more missions? I have to remember, too, that there's one at the end that I'm gonna do separate. Jahanta would like to help you learn yet another melody of the bard. 'Tis good to see you return, and more seasoned still for your time in the world. Call me a spoony bard. Final Fantasy IV references. But a man in the winter of his years, it gives me great joy to observe an adventure in the spring of theirs. This is an odd time for recollection, but it was a spring day when a bard first came to my hometown. He played the most sorrowful chords, even as his words tantalized the ear like the breath of one's first love. Many a maiden's heart was stolen during his visit, and doubtless more besides. Bren, would you believe that common bards, too, were born of archers? This may seem far-fetched upon first hearing, but it isn't so far a stretch. Ask yourself this. What becomes of soldiers when conflicts gives way to peacetime, and of lives they may return to? But most needs to take up a new trade to make ends meet. Well, it so happens that many who had once bent the bow took up to strumming the harp. They wandered the realm, thinking passionately and earnestly of the war as seen through their own eyes, of sweet victories and bitter defeats, of sacrifice and cowardice. Their songs so captured the imagination of the people. Nary a day passed that a bard was not called to perform, be it in a humble tavern or some great lord's hall. Alas, their popularity proved their downfall. Intoxicated by attentions of the masses, the bards took to embellishing their songs into a bid to outdo one another, and over time each song was shorn of virility, till a bard's repertoire contained not one shred of truth. But now you will know that such things have no purchase upon men's hearts. Certainly a bawdy tune may set off fits of laughter in a sailor, in a sorrowful ballad summon tears in the eyes of a soft-hearted maiden. Yet these are but pale shadows of what songs can achieve. For a blessing, this decline did not escape the notice of the Mughals. As great patrons of the art, they feared that the true power of song might be lost to mankind. So it was they that labored to gather and safeguard these crystals known as souls of the bard, that they might be bestowed upon worthy men and women. Now, well, as I know you relish in listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of the lesson. I know I've mentioned this previously, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool? Now, while I know as you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say, ooh! I didn't touch that. It went ahead on its own. The song recounts the massacre of Griffin Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gridanians' lives come to a premature end. Is there any way to make it go back? This is why I kind of wish it displayed over here. Maybe it does. I don't know. Battle event. No. Oh wait, yes it does. Yes it does. Okay. 1 minute. I'm sorry. Blessings of the Moogles. Blessings of the Bard. Now, well as I know you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of the lesson. I know I have mentioned this previously, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool? Nay? Well, that won't do at all. We must remedy this post-haste. The song recounts the massacre of Griffith Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gridanian lives came to a premature end. Yeah, for some reason it skipped ahead without me. But do forgive me. I seem to have mistaken the proper order of things. Before I begin, I must be convinced to the point of the tale that will be lost upon you. Elsewhere I have wasted my breath in telling the truth of it. My hands were not even on the controller when it skipped ahead, so that was weird. Now, heed well these instructions. You must make your way to the Welwick Wood, where resides a mated pair of Edelgoats that have but recently lost a kid. The pair has been driven mad with grief, and only death will put an end to the uncontrolled rampages. Linger in their territory until you encounter the beast. Then let fly your arrows of mercy as you liberate them from their sorrow. So too shall your soul resonate with the echoes of poignant melody. They're sad. Kill them. That's a little fucked up. Just saying. Oh, they're in Thinland. Why all the way? How do you know what's going on in Thinland, old man? Did the Moogles send you to assassinate? Oh, I'm still on my chocobo. Still getting somewhat used to this, I guess. For those of you that don't know, I have been away for over 2 weeks between these parts. Bard took a really, really long time to level. I think there's been a lot of new people in the servers, because dungeons have taken a very long time. I'm talking like 1 to 2 hours per dungeon, because people keep wiping over and over because they don't know how to tank or heal. Which means I'm guessing they're new, even though their equipment says they're not. And I've been busy with other projects, so between the two, timeline-wise, it's a little skewed. I'm sorry, Edelgoat. Melody of bars of old, things within you. Let's return to... Oops. Map, please. Map, please. Yeah, I should also be getting the equipment, shouldn't I? Welcome back. I can almost hear the cries of mourning that have seared themselves into your soul. That you remain unbowed by such anguish is testament to your spirit's fortitude. Yet even as your heart swells to contain these new experiences, you must not neglect your skills with the bow. As a resilient heart must needs have a robust body in which to beat. Once you have trained both in equal strength, then I shall perform for you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool. Words! Armies Paeon. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 100, grants Armies Paeon to self and all party members within 50 yalms, increasing direct hit rate by 3%. Additional effect, 80% chance to grant repertoire, reduces weapon skill cast time and recast time for spells and auto attacks by 4%. So, this is good if you have a lot of mages in your party. Because you decrease their spell times, they recharge way faster. I feel like I'm losing my voice. To be fair, I did stream before this. Song Gauge explained. Singing Army's Paean will display the action's corresponding saw gauge, indicating the effect's time remaining. If the repertoire effect is triggered while Army's Paean is being used, the bard is granted reduced weapon skill cast time, yada yada. In Mage's Ballad. Yeah, I know how both these work, thanks. According to the stacks accumulated. Doing it the bard way. Flirting with everything and everyone? Welcome back. By your tranquil countenance, it is plain by both your body and soul our readiness for the next stage of your journey. Very well. The time is ripe that I teach you the ballad of the Vainglorious Fool. This song tells the tale of an archer of the god's quiver whose peerless skill was surpassed only by his hubris. Alas, that hubris led to the annihilation of his entire regiment in the battle which had come to be called the Massacre of Griffith's Crossing. Griffin Crossing. With stand guard in dead of night, an archer weary of the sight, drunk on pride and starved of glory, forsook his post to claim victory. 10 score yawns had the archer crept, when shrieks rang out whence his comrades slept. For he was not there to see the knives, nor to ring the bell and save friends' lives. Tell me, what lessons can be learned from this tale? Ah, behold that thought. What your tongue claims to understand interests me not. I really like the music here. As before, I'd sooner have you demonstrate the fruits of your learning with bow in hand. This time, however, you shall have the pleasure of my company. I would have you escort me to the Gelmora ruins in the North Shroud. It is there that few fallen from the massacre of Griffin Crossing have been laid to rest. Pray honor this place of remembrance with a bouquet of lilies. Heed me, O puissant Athalique, cast thee back to the reins of the firmament, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Actually, do you say anything else? Interest in poetry or Song of the Bard? No, I'm here to fulfill your quest. I wonder if we get outfits as Bard. Normally this is where we search for, like, the soul crystal outfit pieces. And I don't feel like we've been doing that. Does Bard not have an outfit, or do we get it, like, all at once? Didn't know this was a grave. The enemy van? I think it means Vanguard. Post-traumatic stress, huh? No, I cannot. Why? Why do I still draw breath? Got that survivor's guilt, huh? Step aside, old man, I'll do it. Just don't shoot me. That a sin of the past would beget another. Forgive me. You know, you could just buff me with the tunes while I go in front. You know, that's a thing. That's what bards are supposed to do. It's more a support class than a DPS class. Oh, a healer, huh? Oh, I killed him before I could even get to his comrades. Alright, Bard. Old man, where are you? As you have doubtless noticed, I'm no longer capable of wielding a bow. I, whom they call the God's Bow. I had hoped that the years would take the edge off the memories, but I hoped in vain. Absolution does not come so easily. Heed me well, for I shall reveal all to you. The man sung of in the ballad of the vainglorious fool, whose hubris doomed an entire regiment. He and I are one and the same. Being no stranger to the bow, you will know that the archer's role in battle is that of support. Hey, that thing I literally just said. His charge is to thin out the enemy line, and that his comrades might gain ground on the field of battle. Yeah, you're more for stat buffs than dealing damage. And debuffs. By that most basic of criteria, I was unfit to hold the bow from the first. In my pride and lust for glory, I sent countless souls to a bloody grave. Good men and women all, with loved ones and bright futures awaiting them. I lost the will to live that day, becoming an empty husk of a man, tormented in sleep and wakefulness both by the memories of my crime. But the gods were not without mercy. They gifted me with song, that I might find a measure of solace in my wretched existence. You made it seem like you were the one who sent them out, though. Were you? This thing's burning a hole in my pocket. A new melody resounds within you, I see. Though this outing was rather far departed from what I had in mind, that it still bore fruit gives me comfort. On that note, let us conclude the lesson. I dare say I have no cause to worry that you will repeat the selfsame mistake as the vainglorious fool. Bren, I would be alone for a while. Take yourself back to camp. I shall make my own way there presently. Your empathy unlocks echoes of an ancient melody within you. Oh, jeez! Sorry, there's the yokai fate thing going on. I'm just staring there like a dunce. I mean, smells like tree spirit. We could participate, but I doubt I'd be of any help. Yeah, they're good. I'm not gonna do it right now. I don't have my yokai equipped anyway. Yeah, that person's about to bite it. A part of me wonders if I should do healer next. Just because. I was intending to do black mage first. But there's so many people I keep encountering in this latest raid that needs revived. I don't know. We'll see. Both use magic gear, so it'll be cause for me to clear out my inventory either way. I'm glad to see you safe and returned. Though I rasped my voice hoarse through the saying of it, I cannot tell you enough times how much I regret dragging you into such danger. And yet there was more that I was asked of you. If you would do me the kindness of lending your ear, then pray speak now. Yeah, we only get the Rain of Death. Well, delivers an attack potency with 100 to a target and all enemies nearby it. Needs 2 charges. Shares a recast timer with Bloodletter. Oh, so it's the arrow that I have a timed set off with, but it's in an AoE. Your point carried on the winds. Voice carried on the winds of time. Jesus. Words. Oh my god. This one. It's just that, but in an AoE. Okay, this should be the last one then. 45, maybe? Jantel has a request of you. You will listen to my request so you know me of a vainglorious fool I am. I'm humbled. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's the second to last. The boon I ask for you is simple. I would have you sing for me. A heartfelt performance, masterfully delivered. You have come far in such a short time, my young apprentice. Hearing your song this day, I'm convinced that you are well on your way to surpassing me, as a bard and archer both. Soon there will be naught left with me to impart to you. Bren, you've proven yourself worthy of the consecrated garments worn by the true bards of old to honor the keeper. I speak of the chortle attire. Oh, so maybe there is something. The attire was entrusted to me when Puknopoki and I first met, deep within the Twelves Wood. The Moogle and I had traded scarce more than a handful of words when he proffered me to the attire along with the souls of the bard. At that time I knew not the true power of song, and so I declined the gifts. But Puknopoki would not be denied. For all his good humor, the Moogle can be as unmoving as a rock. The attire chooses the wearer, not the other way around, he insisted, and I found myself yielding to his will. In mastering the verses of war, I won acclaim beyond my wildest dreams upon the field of battle, and for a time I was well pleased. Alas, my lust for glory knew no bounds, the consequence of which you are already aware. It was in the wake of the massacre of Griffin Crossing, stricken with guilt. I wanted not more than the earth to open up and swallow me whole. I had lost the will to live, but I was too craven to end it myself. And so I took to wandering aimlessly, in search of a place to die, far away from the judging eyes of men. Disillusioned with the power of song, I committed an act of folly. I scattered the charcoal attire across the realm. Choral attire across the realm. If truly the attire chooses a wearer, I challenged, then let it find its way back to me. Determined that I would not be proven wrong, I went to great pains to ensure that the attire would never again see the light of day, and the pieces now rest in places of peril. Being the proud fool that I was, it never crossed my mind that mayhap another was meant to don it. I would entrust the chorled attire to you, but as you can see, you must needs brave the dangers to claim it. I shall mark its whereabouts on your map, but I can afford you no further aid beyond that. I am deeply sorry that my folly of years past has entailed this burden upon you, but Althak works in mysterious ways. In his wisdom, it may be that he has sent this trial to test your spirit. I mean not for my sentiments to encumber you, but I am convinced that you are the one chosen by the Choral attire. But pray do not take that as license for complacency. Trials wouldn't be called such if they failed to tax one's ability. Stay ever on your toes. I would have you return whole of body, bearing the 4 parts of my surrendered raiment. Okay, so there are pieces. Heed me, O puissant Althik. Reverse these, the season's tuning, that we might gaze upon the battles of yore. Okay. I guess I'll just go where it sends me. Man, you went all over the place. Dude. Unnecessary. Yeah, it is the weekend, so I bet the fates are busy today. Oh, dang it, no, land! Land, bird, land! Okay, next is Earth's Gift. Actually, that's back there. Let's do Thanland next. Save on Gil. Robon's Push. You got a whole section named after you, huh? Did visiting these places also count as research for your music? And how long have these sacks been sitting here? Eventually, stuff would just get ruined. Okay, they're both in the shroud. Actually, I'll go to the dais first. High allergy day? These are spores. These aren't normally here. Does it actually say what weather it is? Tension. What does that mean? Obviously it's a weather thing, but I've never heard of a weather called tension before. Although I gotta say, I mentioned briefly over on Twitter that our internet provider outlet, which is sort of like a box, a metal box that sits outside and then controls everybody's internet, it got struck by lightning. And it got completely blown up a few weeks ago. The day of, everything was going on the fritz. And I mean stuff that wasn't even plugged in. So, like, my controllers for my Switch and stuff kept blinking on and off. My Bluetooth headphones kept trying to connect to my phone, even though they were in their case, and the case wasn't connected to anything. And my mom has some battery lights in her closet. They're just little LED battery lights, but they don't plug in at all, except for when you're charging them, and they kept flickering on and off. It was really creepy. And then later that night, we had that lightning bolt come down, so I have to assume there must have been some sort of electromagnetism hooey going on. Because stuff kept turning on and off, even if it wasn't plugged in. At first I thought when it was happening, like, oh, my controller is technically plugged into my Switch, even if my Switch isn't on. Because there's a light that blinks on it whenever it's activated. I'm thinking, like, oh, maybe we're having, like, weird power surges or something, even though I have everything connected to a surge protector in here. But no, it was happening to stuff that wasn't plugged in. Ooh, I forgot they can see me. Plugged in whatsoever. And then later that evening, we had the lightning bolt that came down and completely decimated our internet box. Was a neighborhood, which means the whole neighborhood was without internet for 24 hours. I don't know. Weird electrical phenomena. Gotta say. And that box is a ways away from me. It is about half a mile up the road from where I live. And I caught it on camera because I have security cameras. Even though it was the middle of the night, a flaming piece of it, you could see it come down into our backyard. So, yeah, it was on fire. It blew all the way here. That lightning bolt, I cannot stress to you how loud that sucker was. And I'm someone who's used to lightning. We get a lot of lightning here, and that sucker was big. So, yeah, weird phenomena like that happens occasionally. So, you have returned. Sound of body and mind, I trust, and you bear the 4 parts of choral attire. That's the other thing people don't always understand about lightning either, is that it's not a one-way thing. It's not just a bolt descending from the sky. It's actually the ground and the sky connecting to each other in the middle. So, a lot of times there will be strange activity on the ground prior to a lightning strike actually occurring. Usually it only happens seconds before the bolt hits the ground. So if your hair ever starts sticking up on end, like, get the fuck out of Dodge, like, just pick a direction and go. But, I think it really did have some sort of weird electrical field that was building on the ground all day, because electronics everywhere were going crazy, and then it hit, and it was huge. And then it never happened again. So we've never had any weird stuff happening since. I know you were the true owner of these garments, ere I heard your song. Since the day we met, your determination— Thanks, Sarah? Since the day we met, your determination has reminded me much that I have lost, and would have again. I have at last settled my heart on a matter that has plagued me for some decades. When my preparations are complete, you shall know of my decision. Until then, may your song lift the spirits of your allies, and your arrow seek the hearts of your foes. Just random person. Did they say anything? Shows her undeniable jubilation. I don't know, maybe she watches my videos, or maybe she's just a very excitable person. I don't know. Reclaim the fallen. Requiem of the fallen. Here we go. This finally is the last one. You have done well, my young apprentice. In returning with the choral attire, you have reaffirmed my faith in you. I see no further reason to withhold from you the existence of the final piece of the set, the piece that has brought us together. Listen well. When I put down my bow, I vowed to never again set foot in the Twelveswood. Now that I forsake my oath, it is for no other reason than to impart my knowledge of one who would succeed me. Lest you wonder why I should deem that so important, permit me to relate to you an event which brought about a great change in me. My most recent journey had taken me to Ul'dah, where I found myself ambling through the marketplace early one morn. Browsing the wares on display, mine eyes were met with a relic from my past, a piece from the choral attire that had discarded decades before, countless malms away. I felt it once that it was not mere change that had reunited me with it, and put forth the coin with nary a pause. Holding the garment in my hands, I resolved to find a worthy heir to my legacy. Alas, no sooner had I arrived in the Twelveswood than I found myself mobbed by archers seeking to hone their skills. Amongst those who came, not a one showed the least interest in the poetry and verse. Sorely discouraged and regretting my decision, I made to strike camp and leave the Twelveswood at once more, never to return. It was then that you appeared, young one. When you expressed your desire to learn song, I could scarce contain my joy. Looking back, I'm fully convinced that our meeting had been preordained. Your coming has instilled with me the courage to attend to that matter of which I spoke earlier. I'm ready to make the pilgrimage to the scene of my regiment's demise. Ever since that fateful day, I've been haunted by the visions of my fallen comrades, torment graven upon their bloody faces. Lost to hope, but too craven to end my own life, I wandered the land aimlessly, seeking a place to die, but the heavens denied me even that. Yet just when it seemed that despair would draw me wholly into its black abyss, never to emerge again, a melody resounded within me. It was then that I awakened to the power of song and found new purpose in life. I embarked upon a journey to master such verses as would bestow peace upon the fallen, that I might lay the tortured souls of my comrades to rest. It has taken long years, but now I believe I can offer a requiem worthy of my comrades. To do so, however, I require one last favor of you. I would have you escort me to the west of the Observatorium, in the Korthus Central Highlands. It is there that we shall find the scene of my regiment's demise. Your presence kindles within me a courage I had thought lost. I would have none other than my side as I undertake this pilgrimage, now as I enter the most daunting stage of my life. Once you arrive, I ask that you pay your respects with another bouquet of nebula lilies. When my requiem is sung, you shall have the final piece of the choral attire. Are we seeking vengeance against the ones who killed your comrades? Heed me, O puissant Athalique. Reverse thee the dance of the stars athwart the night sky, that we might ease the suffering of souls long departed. I actually really like this weather pattern. It's very pretty. I wish the game would do this more often. Really quick, too. I want to see if... Yeah, I do have some slightly better gear. It doesn't match, but... Okay, the boots. Can we go back to... Oh, we do have the shoes already. There we go. Now it matches. The top, not so much, but we don't have that part yet. Here? No, a little further down. Observatorium, he said. Which technically is that, but... Here we go. Here's a grave. Why do you act so surprised? He said he was coming with us. Somebody's a critic. You not like music? We're surrounded, and our foes seem disinclined to listen to parley. You must survive this, Bren. My soul is overburdened with the deaths of too many of my dear companions already. Oops. Just a thought, but you ever thought about taking up healing instead of a bow? It's this one I wanna get you afflicted with stuff. Ooh, I'm trapped. I can't move. Aid me the best you can. I can't move. Can I only attack this one? Oh, I guess I can. Weird. Okay. Okay, do I actually have to take out the ads? I do. It should be easy enough, though. Hear my song and be invigorated. Well, I already took out the big guys, so... For without you, I would not be standing here this day. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, my friends, for I have kept you waiting over long. Hey, you loosed one after all. The Keeper be praised. I can wield a bow once more. It was you, young one, who helped me remember how. Well, it's not that you forgot how, it's just... I had known for quite some time, but your presence is a salve to the wound in my soul. Your coming has delivered me from the nightmares of my past. Well, 'tis in the name. My worthy successor, to you I entrust the final piece of the chirale attire. Don it and go forth to fill the hearts of men with courage and purpose. Though the seasons may turn, bending a man's back and dimming his eye, so long as there is life, there is reason to hope. Thank you for showing me the truth of this. With the blood of my comrades upon my hands, to simply draw a breath racked me with such guilt as I could not bear, but the time for mourning is past. I shall take up the bow once more and lend what aid I can to the god's quiver. In fighting for those who yet live, I do my fallen comrades the greatest honor. Yet another melody resounds within you, I see. Then there is naught more I can impart to you. As equals, let us together give praise to life and all the joy that it brings. Heed me, O puissant Athalique. Turn thee over the hourglass of time, that we might exult in the glory of all creation. That the exalted name we sing may be living, my saviors, savor the life and departed known true peace. This is not a timer, so I feel so much pressure. That the living may savor life and the departed know true peace. There we go. I don't like when it's not voiced, but it's also timed. Thank you again. You have blessed this old fool with a gentle touch of salvation. Eorzea awaits. Go forth now and inspire endless hope and courage with the beauty of your songs. May we one day meet again. And we also get the treasure coffer. And that should be Bard complete. Battle voice. This concludes the Bard quest for Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn. For now. And Chapter New Game Plus is added, so if we want to go through it again. But let us... Here's the hat. Does Bard not have a hat? And is this it? Yeah, this is it. And where's the body? Here's the body. Okay. So this is the Bard attire. Not a fan of this shirt, and I kind of look like a clown. I feel like nothing about this matches. Oh, it has a V-back too. I'm fine with the V-back, I just don't like the front. This outfit is very loud. Nothing fits with anything else on this outfit. What? What am I looking at? What is this? This is like the goldsmith hat all over again. It's... everything clashes with everything else. Okay, I think it's in Gridania. There's one more thing I want to do. We got the bow part, but we don't have the heart part. We gotta go get the heart part, which is separate for some reason. I think it's in the amphitheater. I can't say this name, so I'm just going to say Shrimpkin. Have you come to listen to the silken strings of Shrimpkin, traveling troubledoer and master minstrel? No? You do, however, have the look of one who lives around the road. You saying I look like I live outside? And on the subject of wondrous wanderings, and the musical expression thereof, I do mayhap have some wisdom to offer. When I suddenly find my heart stirred by some spectacle of nature or inspiring act of daring do, I simply let the emotion of the moment flow through the fingers and into my harp. I found no sound to be as achingly beautiful as one born from the instant of genuine joy or wistful sadness. You need no special training or knowledge to give voice to the music of the heart, only a willingness to play the score as it writes itself across your soul. If you can accomplish such a surrender, then you have created a piece unique unto yourself, and what melody could be more precious? I knew from the moment I laid eyes on you. Here is someone whose spirit begs for instrumental interpretation. Pray release your inhibitions, and favor the world with your performance. Okay, when using the performance actions, you are strictly prohibited from performing the music of any third parties. I mean, it says that, but nobody listens to it. I think it's just saying be wary of copyright. You may record and upload your performance, and hereby agree to license such recordings to us for use by Square Enix or other accordance with the terms of Final Fantasy XIV. Material usage license. Performance actions unlocked. So we can now play our instrument, which you've probably seen people doing on the street in my playthroughs already. To begin, you should simply play whichever notes catch your fancy. Let whimsy carry you up and down the scales, revel in the soaring heights and plunging depths, until you find a song which resonates with your being. Painted with the experience of your adventures, the timbre and tone will be yours and yours alone. I wonder what manner of music will fill the air. May the wind catch your composition, and deliver it unto my covetous ear. You have learned Perform. When playing as a bard, performance actions can be found in the Actions and Traits windows, accessed under Character in the main menu. Use your harp to create sweet music. You can get other instruments later, I think, by selecting a sound from Performance located under Actions and Traits in the main menu. Then simply use the keyboard to create your masterpiece. Remember, performance actions can only be used while your job is set to bard. Okay. How fare you in impromptu performances? Mayhap one day we could play a duet together. Well, I'm not gonna do that out here, just because I embarrassed. So let us... go to... Which way's the inn? This way's the inn. See if I can figure it out. Okay. Character. Profile, jobs, classes, reputation. Said actions and traits. Okay. Nope. Performance. Oh, we have like a whole bunch. I didn't know that. Why is fiddle listed as a harp? Well, I play violin in real life, but harp's the one we're used to. A lute, piano, flute. All kinds of instruments that you can pick from. Is there keys? Snare drum. Bass drum. Is keys something that exists in here? Or is that not going to be a thing until like a future patch? Oh wait, there's piano. That's keys, probably. Huh. Okay, so that's how it opens. We have octaves, half steps. I've heard that you have the ability to, like, map this to an actual keyboard. BPM measure. Oh, so we actually have things to practice with? Oh yeah, you can actually... Okay, so that's for actual training. We use these in music training as well. I don't typically need it, but huh. Okay, so I've messed around with it a little bit, and it turns out on controller this is kind of difficult to do, so I probably won't mess around with it too much, but it is possible to open this up and jam away on the keyboards. You can change octaves, etc. But unfortunately, due to the octave switching being a tad weird, it's a little hard to learn, but apparently you can plug in an actual keyboard into this to use in place of a controller or an actual keyboard. Like, I'm talking piano keyboard. This. And that'd be really cool for making music. I bet if I had one of those plugged in, I could do a lot better job than any of this. So sorry for anyone who's disappointed, but doing this on controller is kind of ass. Here's hoping there's a way to expand this so I don't have this little tiny thing and instead can like open up the octaves this way because no, there's no foot pedals on an Xbox controller. So for now, this is where I'm gonna call it. And Bard is complete. Weird, but complete. And I have the ability to annoy the crap out of people with music now. So with that, I'm gonna start my next class in the future. So if you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV, like and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye-bye.